The United States military has unleashed a campaign of overwhelming precision force against Iran and its military infrastructure, and it is not slowing down. Over 7,000 targets have already been struck, with each day bringing an even larger strike package than the last. American capabilities are building, Iranian capabilities are degrading. This is not a limited engagement. This is a sustained, calculated campaign of aerial dominance, fought from desert air bases, naval flight decks, and the skies above the Strait of Hormuz, and the machinery behind it never sleeps. At a forward operating base in the United Arab Emirates, AH-64 Apache attack helicopters sit at the center of this operation. Ground crews work through the night and into the day, refueling aircraft, reloading weapon systems, and preparing machines for the next sortie before the last one has even landed. The base serves as the primary launch point for American pilots entering the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most strategically vital waterways on the planet. Iranian Shahed drones have been targeting U.S. bases, Allied positions, and oil tankers moving through that waterway. The Apaches are the answer. Fast, lethal, and constantly in the air. The operational rotation is relentless by design. Helicopters lift off from the UAE base and fly directly to naval vessels positioned in the Gulf, where they land on flight decks and sit on immediate standby. Others skip the ships entirely and head straight into the strait on active patrol. At any given moment, some Apaches are outbound, some are returning, and some are hovering on deck with engines ready to spin. This layered rotation ensures that no gap exists in coverage, that no window opens in which Iranian drones can move unchallenged through the waterway. The system is engineered so the threat is always met, regardless of timing or direction of attack. When Iranian drones appear on radar, the response begins not in the cockpit, but in the Combat Information Center deep inside the ship. Radar operators scan the contacts, classify them as hostile, and immediately push targeting data to the Apache crews. The information travels fast. Pilots already on deck start engines and are airborne within minutes. Pilots already in the air turn toward the threat. There is no delay, no hesitation, no waiting for confirmation up a chain of command. The data reaches the crew, the order goes out, and the helicopters move. The speed of that response, from radar contact to airborne intercept, is one of the central reasons the drone campaign has not broken through. Once the mission is complete, the Apaches do not simply land and wait. The rearmament process begins immediately. The 19-round Hydra 70 unguided rocket pods are reloaded and locked onto the stub-wing pylons. Each rocket is individually checked before the pod is sealed. The 30mm chain gun beneath the nose, the weapon used to shred drones at close range, has its ammunition drum refilled with a fresh belt of high-explosive rounds. Then come the AGM-114 Hellfire missiles, the laser-guided anti-tank munitions capable of destroying armored vehicles, fortified bunkers, and hardened infrastructure. Each missile is slid onto the rail launcher, electrical connectors plugged in, and mounting secured. The helicopter that left empty returns fully armed and ready to fly again within a single turnaround cycle. To sustain this pace, the military has established a continuous resupply pipeline that reaches all the way back to the continental United States. A C-17 Globemaster transport aircraft lands at a desert airstrip near the forward base, carrying inside it a replacement AH-64 Apache, partially disassembled for transport, rotor blades, tail rotor assembly, stub wings, weapons pylons, avionics fairings, crates of rockets, and Hellfire missiles, all of it pulled off the ramp by hand and by cart. The airframe itself is rolled down without its rotor blades, guided manually by a large ground crew moving carefully around sensors and weapon systems. Every step of the offloading is deliberate, because damaging the helicopter during transport would mean losing it before it ever fired a shot. Once off the C-17, the Apache is hooked to a tow vehicle and moved to the assembly area. The mechanics go to work immediately. Rotor blades are attached and torqued. The tail rotor is mounted and the drive shaft connected. Stub wings are bolted on, weapons pylons installed, avionics panels reconnected and tested. Then the full weapons load goes on. Rockets into pods, Hellfires onto rails, the chain gun drum filled. Hydraulics are checked, electrical systems verified, flight controls tested, engine systems run through the checklist. Only when every system clears inspection is the aircraft certified for flight. What arrived in pieces inside a cargo hold is now a fully operational attack helicopter, ready to join the rotation over the Strait of Hormuz. And while that assembly is underway on the ground, the war in the air does not pause. Back on the ship, the combat alarm sounds again. Radar has picked up a new wave of Iranian drones. An Apache on deck spins up, reaches operating speed, and lifts off. The pilot acquires the targets on onboard sensors, lines up the gun, and fires. The drones are hit and fall. The engagement is reported, the kills confirmed, the information relayed to the command center. The helicopter circles back to its patrol station and waits. No celebration, no extended debrief on the flight deck. The cycle simply continues, because it has to. Because the drones keep coming, and the answer to every one of them is already airborne, armed, and waiting. This is what sustained air superiority looks like in practice. Not a single decisive battle, but an unbroken loop of patrols, intercepts, rearming, resupply, and assembly, repeated around the clock, day after day, with each passing day bringing more firepower and fewer functioning targets on the other side. The Apaches over the Strait of Hormuz are not just defending a waterway. They are demonstrating something larger, that American military logistics, when fully mobilized, can maintain a pace of operations that no adversary's drone factory can match. Iran's drones keep coming, America's helicopters keep shooting them down, and the gap between the two sides, in capability, in readiness, in the sheer industrial depth behind each mission, grows wider with every sortie flown.